Join us as we spend a few days camping and riding electric motorcycles around the north rim of the Grand Canyon using National Forest and BLM land. This trip was made possible with awesome partners like LAND Motorcycles, XVenture Trailers, and PowerTube TV. We've never seen the Grand Canyon and couldn't be more excited to see what all the fuss is about. Joining us on this trip is Bivy and Nora, our dogs, and my wife Renee. We head north from Flagstaff after Overland Expo West. Our first stop, the historic Navajo Bridge. These two bridges, one historic and one new, represent one of only 7 land crossings of the Colorado River for over 700 miles. Also joining on this trip is a badass chick named Jackie. We'll tell you more about her later down the road. We'll just say she's got some experience on electric motorcycles. Something unexpected were all the condors hanging out around the bridge. These birds have giant numbered tags on their wings, so you can jump on Condor Spotter and find out the history about them. We know we keep saying it, but we love diners. So our next stop is a little hole in the wall, nestled to a big field of boulders called the Cliff Dweller Restaurant. And last but not least, joining us on this trip is Shane, one of the head honchos over at Land. This guy is a one-of-a-kind traveler. Sailing, adventure biking, and general travel, this guy's done it. After one of the most wonderful breakfasts we've had in a long time, it's time to get on the road and start this adventure. Once off the main road, we have a 28-mile trail ride out to our hopeful camp spots. Being from the East Coast, where you can really never see more than a few miles, the vastness out here is just incomprehensible. We pull over, turns our shocks to soft, and air down our tires to around 18 psi for a smoother ride. All while Jackie and Shane unload a land bike so we can chase them through the desert. With Jackie all geared up, we're going to send her on our way and chase her down with the drone. There's nothing like watching somebody who knows what they're doing really get it. We enter the Kaiba National Forest. Less of a forest and more of a prime example of how beautiful a desert can be. It's surprising how fast the canyon can sneak up on you. Our first views do not disappoint. Looking at the gully, going 1,600 feet below us, it's really hard to comprehend the actual distance that you're able to see. We're heading to Buck Farm Viewpoint. Nothing can prepare you for this kind of view. This was supposed to be our camp spot, but being 75-mile-an-hour winds off the ridge, we decided that we're going to go back inland to find a new place to camp. But first, we'll hang out here a while and take in the views and feed the dogs. So far, only 30% of the battery was eaten over these 28 miles. We backtracked about 6 miles, found a camp spot, and decided to get out and have a little bit more fun before setting up camp for the evening. Even Shane got his adventure bike off to do some ripping and roaring. I can't stress enough to plan shorter days. This allows you to explore the areas where you end up setting up camp, either bicycling around, hiking, or on an electric motorcycle. Give yourself time to enjoy the side hobbies. Camp goes up fast as the sun sets over the desert. It's still baffling to think that 6 miles away over this flat terrain is the most expansive gully in America. After a long day of trail riding, it's nice to decompress. On your menu tonight is an easy dinner of hot dogs. This gourmet meal is brought to you by our XVenture trailer pull-out galley. If you know you're going to have a long day of trail riding, go by the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. The evening continues with laughs and libations. Another thing us city folks forget about most of the time is how bright the moon can make a desert with no cities nearby to put out the light pollution. As the evening progresses, the temperature drops by 20 degrees as soon as that sun goes away. Lava Box to the rescue. I'm also knocking off a small bucket list item on this trip by bringing along a UV light. Did you know that scorpions glow under UV light? Put that under your nightmare factory if you're going out to take a pee. These things were only about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, but until you turn the light on, you couldn't see them. Nothing better than camping with great conversation. You're not creepy behind them at all. Hey, Patty. Being on East Coast time, I woke up way too early to realize that Shane has the same issues. Mornings in the desert just hit different. Everywhere you look, looks like a poster from a Western. Breaking down camp went fairly quick. And while we finished that up, remember when I told you earlier that Jackie has a lot of experience on electric motorcycles? I'm going to let her tell you why.
Hi, I'm Jackie Rosenstein, and I traveled across North America on an electric motorcycle. I started in New York and ended up in LA. It took around 2 months. It was a unique experience, from sketchy campsites to sketchy roads, trying to find electricity anywhere we could find. I wish I had the range that the Land Moto has. I probably really could have helped out a lot throughout the trip. What I like about electric is the torque, that it is quiet and lightweight. Specifically on the Land Moto, I like the different modes. I can change whether I want more torque or no torque, and just the fact that it is pretty fast really helps, and the range. I love EV because it is something totally different that I'm used to. I can ride through trails, not disturb the nature, less maintenance. No one can really see me coming.
We appreciate these guys' time they took to come out and hang in the desert with us and race around some motorcycles. They've got to get back and drive all the way across to Cleveland. So on our way back out of this section of the desert, enjoy the beautiful bean footage of Jackie running through the desert. If this sprinter can do it, so can you.
Fast enough for you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah and Renee are my favorite people in the whole wide world. They're gonna adopt me, and I'm going back to Connecticut with them. Or not Connecticut, Kentucky.
We'll take your adoption application under advisement. We head right back to the breakfast spot since it was so good before saying goodbye to our dear friends and future adopted daughter, Jackie and Shane. Thanks, guys. After breakfast, we head over the Cabo Plateau, north of the Grand Canyon National Park, and then back over into BLM Land. This short drive up the mountain takes you from 5,300 feet to close to 8,000 feet. The wife and I were wondering why we were feeling just a little bit tired. And well, around 8,000 feet is when you start to find it hard to breathe. After a gas stop in Fredonia, we turn off to our next section of trail. We have 44 rough miles to get out to our camp spot that we've scouted on Gaia GPS. Driving through cattle gate after cattle gate, we realized that how expansive these farms are. All around us are endless backup camp spots, just in case our chosen camp spot is too windy. Even at 15 psi on the truck and 12 on the trailer, we can only average around 20 to 30 miles per hour. But how can you care about that stuff with views like this? I think Nor and Bivy enjoyed that it was calving season. Plenty to bark at. The closer to the rim we got, the more wild it got, going down to some decent 2-track. We have been pulling an XVenture trailer for 7 years now. The reason? You can beat the living crap out of these things, and they just keep going. These things are the epitome of buy once, cry once. If you're looking for an overland cargo trailer, do your research and give these guys a shout. And with one last surprise, the last 3 miles or so was a straight line to the end. Never being to the desert before, the only thing I can compare this in my mind to is what I think the Australian outback looks like. After enduring some rough trails for a few hours, we weren't sure if this camp spot would pan out. But I can't describe how much this turned out to be the camp spot of a lifetime. We have made it to what we can find to be the only 1-mile section of BLM land on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Besides seeing whales in Newfoundland, this has to be the #1 camp spot experience that we've ever had. After getting the wieners hydrated, we spent some time setting up camp and walked around and explored our little slice of private heaven. When planning your trips, do the research. Spend a lot of extra time looking at maps, especially satellite images, to find these off-the-beaten-path trails that lead to these kind of sites. As the afternoon progresses, Renee settles into the tent to read, enjoy the views, and do a little napping. I wanted to try to make it to our backup site in case this one didn't work out, so I jumped on the LAND Moto to do my first ride through the desert. I strapped a walkie-talkie and my Garmin inReach to me, just in case of emergencies, and headed on out. These bikes boast around 23 horsepower. They'll go up to 75 miles an hour, and playing around like this, you can get around 100 miles of range. I don't think I could be having any more fun. We would have definitely gotten some pinstripes on the truck trying to get out to this point, but this site could have fit probably around 10 to 15 rigs. Once back at camp, it was some quick deli sandwiches for dinner before settling into the tent to watch the Arizona sunset take over the canyon with its shadow. The full moon illuminated the canyon like it was daytime. It's a sad morning. It's our last night camping on the Grand Canyon, so I got up extra early to try to catch the sunrise. Waiting for it to come over the east side of the valley, I had time to contemplate how lucky I actually am. What a life-changing experience. I still can't describe how big and incomprehensible the Grand Canyon is to people who ask. All that to say, grab your tent, grab a friend, and go. So for now, we say goodbye, Grand Canyon.